Just convened a meeting with the premiers of Canada, had a very good and constructive conversation. We are going to Ottawa next Wednesday to sit down with the Prime Minister and Minister LeBlanc, and we're just making sure that we have a strong plan. I know the premiers have a strong plan, but we want to see where the federal government stands right now. Keep in mind, the Prime Minister is still the Prime Minister, the Minister is still the Minister, and until that changes, we're going to make sure that we hold their feet to the fire and come out as a united country on a message to our American friends and allies. And let's just make sure that that we do everything in our power. I mentioned to the premiers to avoid these tariffs. I personally feel they're coming hard. The President has really ramped up his talking points over the last day or two, and we're concerned. We're concerned, but we're a strong country. We're a very strong country when it comes to the critical minerals and energy and manufacturing. So we'll see how this moves, but we want ongoing conversations, weekly updates from the federal government, be it the Prime Minister or Minister LeBlanc, and we just look forward to getting there and having a conversation. We're also confirming on February the 12th, we'll be in Washington, meeting elected officials in Washington. A group of us will be going down there as well. I'll take any questions.
Based on that concern, who do you want to be the voice that brings up those concerns to your U.S. counterparts when that time comes, after your meeting next week?
Well, good question. Every premier has their responsibility, no matter if it's the Western governors, Midwest governors, East Coast governors. Everyone's contacting their counterparts down in the U.S. And as I've been saying over the last little while, I'm not hearing the same tone from governors and senators and congresspeople, and my fellow premiers aren't hearing the same tone as well. So I think there's a little split down in the U.S. President saying one thing, and elected officials are thinking something opposite.
Premier, at that meeting on Wednesday,
yes,
the Prime Minister, is part of that going to be a list from the premiers of here's what we think the retaliatory tariffs need to be? Will that be part of the discussion? I
think that'll be part of the discussion. We want to see their list. They put a small list together, and I apologize. I can't comment on that. That's really showing our cards to the U.S. But we have a strong list, and I'm sure the other premiers do as well, and the federal government has a list as well.
Can you give us a sort of an idea of what might be on that list?
Guys, I really apologize. I don't think it's strategic for Canadians or Ontarians to hand out the list, and it gets right down to the U.S. government. If you can just bear with us, and let's see what happens on January the 20th. And we'll make sure we disclose the list after we see the tariffs that they're planning to put on Canada.
Have you seen any indication, Premier, that Donald Trump is listening and willing to listen to what you do?
You know something, I can't answer for President-elect Trump. I know our message is getting to him. I've heard it from people that know him. I heard it from elected officials. He's hearing our message loud and clear, no matter if it's our ads that are running that are very, very positive. People in the U.S. love those ads. It's a positive message about working together, building that AMCAN fortress, and that's our goal. We're so much stronger. We can be the strongest jurisdiction in the world, the wealthiest jurisdiction, the most prosperous, the safest jurisdiction, and that's our goal, is to work hand in hand and build a relationship with our U.S. counterparts that we have over decades and generations.
Premier, when you go down to Washington, though,
yes,
who is taking the lead here in perhaps setting up a meeting with the White House? Is it Ontario's responsibility to take that lead? Is it yours? Who is in charge of this group of premiers that's going to be going down?
Yeah, thanks for that, Colin. As chair, we'll be taking the lead. Ontario will, and I know other premiers are going to be setting up meetings and their contacts. That they build up their relationships with congresspeople or senators or governors. So we'll go down as a group, but we'll be setting up individual meetings and the people that we've built relationships with.
Is the White House on the list of
No.
meetings you would like to have?
No, it's not.
Are you authorized to meet with the president if it comes to that?
You know, that'd be up to the president, and we're going down there to speak to the American people, to speak to the elected officials down there that can get into the ear of, at that time, President Trump.
What kind of feedback are you getting from the federal government on your Fortress AMCAN?
Nothing.
What does that mean? Why that?
Haven't heard from him. I haven't heard from him. There's a lack of leadership right now in Ottawa. But I want to compliment someone. I want to compliment Dominic LeBlanc. I have confidence as long as he's in his position. He's going to do a great job leading. All the premiers get along very well with Minister LeBlanc, and I'm glad he's at the table. We do have to follow up with the minister that's in charge of the border, and that's, I believe, Minister David McGuinty. I would imagine like he should be out there on a daily basis telling the U.S. what we're doing to secure the border. It's not the province's responsibility. We've had to step up to cover that gap.
Last question.
Premier, you said earlier today that if the tariffs are applied in Ontario, that you would need to spend tens of billions of dollars in order to make sure you're shoring up Ontario's economy.
Yes.
You said you didn't have the mandate for that. What does
That's
that mean?
correct.
Does that mean that you are setting the stage for a potential early election as early as February?
No, I'm not saying that, Colin. I need a mandate from the people similar to the pandemic. The only difference with the pandemic, it was worldwide. Secondly, we had a unanimous vote, which is shocking down at Queen's Park for anything. But we'll be there to support the businesses that may potentially get hurt.
How do you get a
And when we
mandate
get
without
there-
an election?
Well, that's your comments, not mine. But let's see what happens. Let's see how long these tariffs are in place. And I did mention to the premiers that Ontario is going to get hit the hardest, bar none, over anyone. And it's my job as Premier to protect the industries, to protect jobs in Ontario and the people of Ontario, and I will spare no expense to make sure that we keep our economy going, because our economy pays for everything, no matter if it's a healthcare or education, social services, infrastructure, and we need to make sure that we protect all jobs and the people here.